Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Hey, everybody.
I don't know why that guy always says John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
I paid him more.
Oh, you paid him more. Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, it is Wednesday. It is 7:00, and somehow after a long day, we both prevailed, and we decided to show up.
We decided to show up. You know what? And the world belongs to those that show up. And the reason that we are able to show up is because of the fine folks at Seacoast RV in Saco, Maine, Route 1, family fun on Route 1, and they've got crop, they've got elevation, they've got Winnebago, they've got a great store, they've got 4 Labrador dogs in there, and they have propane. So even if you're not going to be camping at this time of year and go by there, stop in, because their store really has something for everyone. And maybe there's something that you said, oh, and I got to get a new one of these next year. Next year is now. So go do it. That's
right. And they are also the benefactor in providing a brand new 2023 Winnebago Hike 100, valued at $30,000. When you get to the show, find their display. It's actually over quite near the display from Seacoast RV. They will be there, and register. Make sure you register. Somebody's gonna win that Winnebago Hike trailer.
Yep, and it can't be one of our relatives, right?
Nope, cannot be a relative. Cannot be under 18 years old. And see, I put that up there because I didn't want them to see you changing behind the curtain there.
Right.
So you were changing behind the
curtain.
Right. And
right.
And it's apropos that you have a Jim Conboy shirt on, because Jim Conboy was first in line. Now that must mean you tipped him off, and he wanted to make sure that he didn't miss 1 second of this show to see if you actually wore the shirt.
Actually, I didn't say a word.
He didn't say a word.
I didn't say a word.
But he knew he shipped it to you.
Well, he knew he shipped it to me, and we got it. And
well, he would naturally be looking for it. So Jim was the first one. Jerry was right behind him. Bill Sellers on. Greetings from Boston area, and happy birthday, Uncle Bernie. Oh man, how dare you do that?
And not tell us first.
Huh?
And not tell us first.
Well, not that. I was all set with that. And you know, he comes up and he takes all my thunder. He must have known today. Bernie is only 39 years old today, or is it supposed to be 29?
Yeah, whatever it is.
Well, we're not going to bore you by singing to Bernie. Bernie can sing his own song if he wants to come on.
And if he's here,
he's not here, but he's got the link. If he wants to come on and sing "Happy Birthday" to himself, we can let him do that.
Yep. Jim Conboy says I'm looking very sharp. Thank you very much, Jim. Actually, he sent me 2. Does that mean I'm supposed to give one to you, or did you not get one?
That's exactly what it means. Why would you even have to ask that question, DePietro?
Well, why would he send it to me when he knows you're 1,500 miles?
It saves him half the postage. He doesn't have to pay postage.
So I'll deliver it to you.
Right.
I'll deliver it to you when I see you.
Don Haas a little late. Hey, Don, you won 2 tickets last week or the week before, and you haven't told me where to send them because you're not coming back for the show. So you
alphabetical or by
I've got them ready to go. You just got to tell me where they're going to be. And then what else do we have? Susan and Jim. I assume Susan and Jim on where? We're in Summerfield, Florida. Okay. Estelle's on. Jim, did you see my email from last week? Oh, she's having a side conversation. Look at side conversation. And Jim says, yes, Estelle, but I haven't gotten any tickets yet. Okay. I don't know what you're talking about tickets, but I assume they're not my tickets. Jerry Plant is Southern Oaks Campground. How many people are on this side conversation? What are you going
I
to
know
change?
they're all. You know what?
You're going to change shirts every time we take a break?
Yeah, they use us so they don't have to
Right.
spend money on their phone.
So whatever Estelle wanted, she got 39 again on Uncle Bernie.
Yeah,
Estelle,
well,
happy birthday, Bernie.
we're gonna see Willie Miller soon.
He probably would jump in and say happy birthday to him. Two different colors. We're going to see him down in Tampa. Two different colors. Bob
Okay,
got
we'll see
two.
Willie.
Oh, James said two different ones, and I got two as well. Thank
Oh,
you, Jim.
well,
Walter,
yeah.
Susan, Leiden, Keaton. We are in four corners of Davenport, so they're close down there. Okay, there's the address. Our daughter and granddaughter will go. Okay, I will get those in the mail to them. So, good start to a good week, a crazy week. You know what we did last week, John, and maybe we should do it again this week. Is you should probably give an update on the crawl.
Okay, we should do that. Why don't you tell the people who our sponsors are?
Oh, well, I can certainly do that. Campers Inn, Easy Care with Walt Burns, Spot Tonight with Terry Brousseau, Wood Alls Campground Magazine with Ben Quiggle, Spacious Skies with Ali Rasmussen, RV Life with Andy Rubinowitz and Patrick Buchanan, RV Business with the one and only, the myth, the legend, Rick Kessler. Go RVing, thanks to Monica Gerasi at RBIA. So Go RVing's on board. Camper Report. That's John and me on that. That's our other show, Herbter and RVing in New England, and Kelly Harms and the team at Winnebago.
So we should tell people.
There he goes. We have to look at this all night long. Oh my God!
I lost my arm.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I can see that. Allie will be happy. So you got Campers in there. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So anyway, I talked to our group today.
Do you want to put your head in the picture?
No, I want to get the sponsor in. I'm not concerned about me.
Oh, okay.
I'm taking our partners here. Well,
All
okay.
right.
I will just for a minute. Unless you put me up on the whole screen. Can you do that?
I can put you up. Yes, I can.
Okay, but you still can't see me. Okay. Terry Broussard. There we go. We always Zagami, here's one thing that you and I do. We always over deliver for our partners.
That's right.
So
no question about that.
You can come back, Bob. You can come back.
Okay. Thank you.
So I talked to our group yesterday morning, and they were in Brazos State Park in Texas, about 100 miles from Austin. And they had just gotten there from Galveston. And a couple of days before that, they were in New Orleans, or as they say, Nolans down there. And then one of the days that they were in Nolans, they met our friend Terry Broussard at the campground. And Terry brought this thing called King's Cake, as Bob searches desperately for that photo.
Yeah, I've got way too many photos tonight.
Yeah, but the thing is this King's Cake, it looks like it's like a Christmas ring, and you can see the size of them right there.
Yeah, too bad they didn't take them out of the box.
Yeah, no, I sent another picture with them open. But they're very festive looking. They're in those Nolans colors with the purple and yellow, or purple and gold. And
that's Terry on the left.
Yep. The audience loved it. And they brought their cookies and whatever. And there was enough for the next 2 days. So they said, thank you so much to the Spot Tonight people for doing that. So they are planning their trip not around distance, well, distance to a certain extent, less than 300 miles per day, but around culinary treats. And they found Shipley's Donuts yesterday, and they're going to Donut Palace tomorrow. Now, I hate to stereotype, but Bob Kelly, who is the leader of the group, is a former law enforcement official, and he knows all the good donut shops.
He got his training in the donut shops.
He got his training in New Jersey in the donut shop industry. But they also went to a place called Heinz's Barbecue. It looks like a hole in the wall, and we're told that it has phenomenal Texas barbecue. Now, a couple of the other people are from North Carolina, and there was a big debate amongst the quartzsite crowd. The quartzsite crawl crowd, say that 5 times fast, the quartzsite crawl crowd, about who has best barbecue. North Carolina, St. Louis, or Texas
North
barbecue?
Carolina wouldn't even be in the conversation.
Well,
Oh,
I will tell you this. We got great barbecue at Buc-ee's in South Carolina. And I know some of our audience has been to Buc-ee's.
yep.
What else?
What are
What
these?
else?
What are these pictures that you sent me?
Well, let's go to them. Okay. So they were on the ferry from Galveston out to one of the outer islands outside of that. Those are, I think they had 11 that day. So they had to space them on the boat. So they had 11 there, and then they had several on the other side as well. One of the ladies there, they were joking. If you can go back to that last photo, Bob, one of the people, the participants, as you can see, she had a kayak with her, and they said she's the only one who brought her own lifeboat. So that was Laura Rakowski from Michigan.
Sure. And seeing that it's only got one seat, she probably didn't bring anybody else to join her in the boat.
Right. She is a solo traveler. Now, interesting, the reason this whole project got going was a few years ago, there were a few female travelers that were reluctant to travel that great distance solo. And somehow they had a conversation with Bob Kelly, and he said, well, why don't we get together? So they had 4 or 5 that first year. But it was just kind of like a dry run. And last year was up to 10. And now, as of today, they're up to 18 rigs, and they're going to pick up another 7 between the time they get to Quartzsite. So there'll be 25 rigs and about 45 people at Quartzsite. And then they meet up with 250 other Winnebago.
All right, we gotta catch up. We gotta catch up to our show. So give me a quick rundown on what.
So that's them stopped somewhere. They're waving. There are more of the people waving. That's just some of the group, and that's some of them. You can see Terry Broussard is in that picture on the left.
Way over on the far left. Yep.
And that was over in Mandeville, Louisiana. So
it's great to see Terry take an active role in his partnership and take the time to go out and see them.
Yep. And you know what? He was the one who brought that up. And,
yes, he was.
Allie Rasmussen at Spacious Skies said, stop at our campground along the way. And the only one that they had in that area was the one in Savannah, which we will stop at when we go down to Daytona in a few weeks.
All right. So Susan's at Sunrise, Sunkissed Village Resort. Dante's a little bit late, but he's there. And Susan says, was there a baby figurine in the king cake?
Oh,
interesting. She knows what a king cake is. She
knows what it is. However, evidently, they don't do that anymore. They put it outside the cake because people were suing the cake company when they swallowed that little plastic baby.
Oh, great.
So now they put the king cake.
Maybe they put it on top. Hawkey, we will be in Tampa next week.
Yep, and we're available.
And we will see you in Boston the week after that.
However, we're also available in Tampa if he wants to do anything like go to dinner.
Yeah. Dante says, see you all in Tampa. Okay. Walter, Susan, we have a house just off 26. Look at these side conversations tonight.
Okay, hold on a second.
They must be getting it's
there's Terry right there. Okay, huh? Terry just wrote that. It was a great time.
Terry says it was a great time. Thank you, Terry.
Terry, what more could you ask for? A person with no arms and a shirt.
Jesus.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about.
But hold on, before we go to Boston, let's talk. We'll go back to Horky there for a second.
Go back to Horky.
People might not know who he is. Okay, but he is the Cougar rep for Keystone RV Company, and a lot of times when you go to an RV show like Boston, you'll see a lot of people there from the dealership because they'll have orange shirts or yellow shirts or red shirts or green shirts. And then you'll see people with a logo of a manufacturer, and they're the manufacturer's rep. Kevin Horky is, in my opinion, without question, the most dedicated manufacturer's rep that we've had an opportunity to work with. And last year at the show, we were going to meet him for dinner at a certain time at a certain restaurant. And we got there on time, and he called up and said, I'm going to be a little bit late because a customer just walked into the show at 5 minutes before closing time. And Kevin spent 45 minutes with him at a time where he could have said, sir, just come back tomorrow. So
yeah, we were. It's right. We were already on a second drink by the time him and Scott came by.
yeah, yeah.
I made Horky famous today. I did the
Oh, you sent it
one of the
to
sneak peeks for Pete's RV, who'll be exhibiting Cougars and several Keystone products. But if you look down the bottom there, I even they, they have a great video out of the Keystone Cougar team with some of their products on. You'll see it on YouTube and what have you. But Kevin Horkey is over there, third from the left. Scott Taylor, the product manager who creates all these wonderful products, is fourth from the right. So we gave him a little national publicity today because he's such a nice guy. Oh, what do you got? Spacious Skies.
Yeah, Allie's our friend. Allie's our friend.
Allie Rasmussen
goes above and beyond.
Great,
we go
great
above
entrepreneur. Yep.
Okay. So, what do we got there? Somebody said from Crop said something. Austin said Crop is exciting for this year's show. They've got a crop product there, right?
We do.
Yep.
What time did Austin?
7:17.
Oh, there it is.
2 up. Yeah. So,
yes, we have. You'll see it. Crop Park Model Homes in our sponsor's booth, Seacoast RV.
Yep.
And if you go to their dealership at Route 1 in Saco, Maine, you probably see another 10 or 15 in stock on the lot. So certainly come by and see the crop units. Frank Belange says, hello all. Man, Susan is on a tear. We'll be in Tampa next week at the Jayco Jubilee Rally. See you all at the Tampa show.
Susan, when is the Jayco? When and where is the Jayco Jubilee Rally?
Probably before the show. Dante, we will be there Thursday. Not sure if it will be Wednesday or Friday for the second day. Well, okay. John and I, if anybody needs our telephone numbers, we can provide them. We will be on site probably Tuesday, Wednesday, and half of Thursday to do that.
Yeah, well, Thursday, I'm 6 a.m. I'm on my way to court site.
There you go. All right. So we want to talk about the show. So if anybody has any particular questions about the show, we can do that. Let me get rid of those.
We should tell the people again, we don't have the sign up. It is not next week, but 23rd through 28th. Thursday, Fridays. All right. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That's correct.
Yeah.
I thought I had it.
Yeah. Well, we have everything except the dates.
Boom. There you go. At the Boston Convention Center, Thursday 4 to 8, Friday noon to 8, Saturday 10 to 8, Sunday 10 to 4. And let me see. So one reason that you want to go to the show is our educational seminars. Seminars this year will be on the floor of the show. They'll be located just in front of Campers Inn and just to the side of Seacoast RV and just down the hall from Cold Springs. You will find that Cold Springs has a different configuration this year where they used to go straight down that first row all the time. They've kind of bundled that into a big square.
Right. But we're in a big hall. We're in a different hall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't try to. Now, are you ready to make that announcement yet? Or is that still hush?
I can make it. I didn't get a. Huh?
Let me set it up before you, and you can say the name, but I just don't think.
No, you can do it. Even though I did all the work, DePietro, I don't mind if you take the.
No, I'm not going to take it. I just want to set it up because I don't know if our audience knows the international magnitude of the coup that Zagami pulled off to get a speaker on one of the days. What, Saturday afternoon?
Saturday, 2:45.
Saturday afternoon, folks. If you know anything about marketing, in the last 15 years, one of the top marketers in the world, for marketer educator in the world, is going to be at the show. The crazy thing is, Zagami knew him long before this gentleman was an RVer, but he's an RVer because of Zagami. And he has a Winnebago Revel. I hope I'm saying it right, Dwayne, if you're listening. And he's written so many books, but 10 years ago when I was teaching at college, I used his textbook as my textbook in a marketing course. And Bob, why don't you take it from there? Because this guy will not, you need to, we need to figure out a way to tape some of it or something, because this guy is world, not regional class or statewide class or New England class. This guy is a world class speaker.
His name is David Merriman Scott. I've known him since I was chairman of the industry association, imaging industry. Years ago, I used him to bring him in to talk to our board of directors. He was the very first Fifth Avenue advertising executive,
Madison Avenue,
that left his job
Madison
when there was just a little bit of an internet, but he saw immediately the potential for sales and marketing, and he left and started his own company. He wrote the first book was The New Rules of Marketing and PR, which, by the way, he is sitting in his Lexington home right now working on the 9th revision of that book.
It's in about 19 different languages.
I don't want to tell you publicly what he gets per hour, but he is the most sought after sales and marketing executive in the world. His books have been translated into something like 20 different languages, because sales and marketing, work no matter what language it is. And we did get him involved. He called me one time. I worked with him on a book that he called Fanocracy that had an RV section, and I worked with him, collaborated on that section. And then he called me up, I don't know, 6 months or a year later. He says, you're always so passionate about the RV stuff. He says, I think I want to buy one of those things. And at that time, I think he was 55. No, he was 60, close to 60. But if you saw David, he's kind of like a younger generation of me. At 60, he's like 30. He kayaks, he climbs mountains, he goes hiking, he goes swimming. What?
David, if you heard that, he didn't mean that you look like him.
No, he doesn't. No. But the industry. We talked to Winnebago, and the industry thought, well, wait a minute, the Rebel was put. It was bought for young adults and young people that wanted to go boondocking and on the outdoors. And here we had a 60-year-old guy that did it and then made multiple enhancements to it. And he's actually going to talk to our audience. Going to do a seminar at 2:45 on Saturday afternoon about his Rebel. And by the way, he has named it Isabella. I believe it was after his mother. And he's going to talk about his adventures going around the country with this thing. And he loves it. And he's a great spokesman. And I would love to see Go RVing use him in some of their commercials, because he's the real deal. But if you are at the show on Saturday, there's a special treat, no charge. He's right on the seminar stage, on the seminar floor. He loves to talk about RVs. He loves to talk about sales and marketing. So we did pull that off today, and we got the word from him that he's going to be in town. We tried a couple of times before, but he travels so many times over the world, we couldn't get the dates matched up. And he said, you know what? I'm available this year. I'd like to do something for you guys. So
it's worldwide travel. It's not like, I'm going to be in Hartford next week, so I can't make it. And then I'm going to be in Burlington, Vermont. I mean, no, I'm going to be in Thailand 1 week, or I'm going to be in India 1 week. I'm going to be in Japan 1 week.
I have to go from Dubai to Moscow, and then I got to stop by Thailand on the way home. Yeah.
Bob, can you just type his name up there so people can look him up? Because folks, I'm telling you, you got to, and even if you don't come to the show and don't see him, pick up his book, and he's got a YouTube channel with a lot of his content on it. David, Meerman Scott.
There you go.
There you go. Look him up. Folks, I'm telling you, whatever business you're in, you need to read some of his content. And I'll tell you one of the things that he was that he told me about. Now, whether it was their client or not, but remember about 6 or 7 years ago, there were about 30 miners. Was it in Peru or somewhere that were stuck?
Yeah,
in a mine down below. Okay, but way down below. And it was a worldwide event because they put the cameras down into the mine and stuff like that. And the cameras were there when the guys came out, but they were all wearing a certain brand of Oakley sunglasses. Okay, so and I don't know whether Oakley was was David's client or whether he just used it as a case
No,
study.
he did. I think he wrote the story because they did what we call in the industry newsjacking, where something was a big story, but you pack onto it with a headline that grabs attention, and people think you're talking about the other story, and you get free publicity for your company. And he's actually written a book, and it's just called Newsjacking. On that.
Yeah. So anyway.
All right. So we got a couple of comments coming in, so we should not ignore them. Let me see where I left off here. Kevin, who's saying this? Jim Keenan. Kevin is one of the best in the business. He is. Krupp is excited for this year's show. We said that. Okay. Susan again will be in okay. We already got that one. Let's see. Dante's that. Susan. Walter says we need to do a Bob and John show meetup at Tampa. That's a good idea. Don Haas, NRVTA and Unplugged will both be at the Tampa show. No booth, but we'll be there in person. And Unplugged, we covered it a little bit on our Camper Report show today when we taped that one, is going to be hooking up with a major sponsor. And Unplugged, RV Unplugged Season 2 will start around May. They'll start filming it. Walter, we ought to take a road trip. They're going to be filming it at Margaritaville in Auburndale sometime in January. So Dante, you might want to take a trip up. Jim and Susan, we could kind of do a nerve today. We could all pick out a day and go up there and do some interviews. Bill, I did not forget the live show. In fact, what we've got, then let me see if I can, give me a minute here. Boop, 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 boop. I got a bunch of stuff, but I didn't forget that one. Did I? No. Let's see. Can it be Bernie relationships, multiple seminars?
Bob, while you're figuring that out, I can just do our live. I can do our live break.
Were you halfway already?
Yeah, it's 7:29. So effectively, what we want to do is tell people that this show is brought to you as a service of the Seacoast RV location on Route 1 in Saco, Maine. They've been around for quite a while. Our friend Kenny and Amanda and the whole gang are there, and they got propane. So they've got propane. They've got a great camp store, and now they've got a wide selection of Winnebago towables and motorized Class Bs. So plus they're the nicest people. And if you go up during their birthday celebrations in the spring, Dante will tell you, Kenny makes the best kettle corn that I've ever had in my life. So that's coming up a little bit later, and be aware of that. So
I thought I know I had one for RVing in New England. I apologize. Live, we are going live from 8 to 10. So you can meet us in the lobby 8 to 10 on Saturday morning. So Saturday's a big day. We got the RVing in New England live at 8 to 10 Saturday morning. The show opens at 10. Seminars start at 11, 2:45 in the afternoon. I think I'm on at 11 with my introduction to RVs, but at 2:45, don't miss David, Murray, Scott on that. So we put a bunch of slides together to say, what's important to people. And one thing it's obviously is talk to other RVers when you go to the show. RVers love to talk to other RVers. So
do they?
When you sit down for a cup of coffee, talk to the other RVers, see what they like, see what they own, where do they go camping. You get a chance to meet Uncle Bernie. Now if he has time, he's going to come out and say hello during the 8 to 10 time frame. But Bernie has a real job, and it's with Campers Inn, and they're going to be getting ready for the show, so he may not be there. But during the show, you can go over to the Campers Inn booth and ask for Uncle Bernie and get an autograph and say hello and what have you. The other thing that I think is important, oftentimes we get complaints, believe it or not. Somebody goes to the show and they want to see pop-up trailers, and they call and say, it was a lousy show because I didn't see any pop-up trailers. Then the very next one will say, it was a lousy show because I went looking for 45-foot diesel pushes, and I didn't see any 45-foot diesel pushes. Understand that an RV show cannot and will not ever be everything to everybody. It's designed to put multiple dealers in one place. It's also a selling show. They spend a lot of money to be in consumer shows nationwide. And so they are going to take what they think are the best selling units or the best selling floor plans in the coming year. That's what's going to be on the show floor. And instead of getting mad because they don't have a particular unit that you like or things that you want to see, use the time to develop relationships with these dealers. Talk to them, see if you get a comfortable feeling with them. Find out when their open houses are, and talk. Get that so you can narrow them down. You won't see everybody, but keep in mind, if you didn't come to the show, and people go, well, it's in Boston and it's parking and it's everything else. Yeah, but if you don't come to the show, and let's say we got 10 dealers in the show, and you want to see 10 dealers, if you don't come to the show, how else can you do it? Now, one or two things are going to happen. One, you won't visit all of them because you think it's too far and too costly. Or two, you will try to visit them and you drive yourself crazy. You'll spend a lot of money on gas. You'll get to dealerships that'll be closed. You'll get to dealerships where you might not like the people. When all you spend one day in Boston or 2 days, come back the next day, and you will develop those relationships with these dealers. They will all have a board or a notebook with their pre-owned inventory. So if you're not ready for a brand new RV, pre-owned inventory, ask them for their book or look at their board for what they have. They're not allowed to demonstrate, to exhibit pre-owned inventory, but they all have it. Most of them will do an open house a week or two after the show. Find out when their open house. If they're one of, you're going to come away from there with 2 or 3 dealers that you say, I like these people. I could do business with these people. Find out when their open house is, then take your needs with you. What do you think, John? Give him a few other guidelines.
Totally agree. Audrey says the best to visit the dealerships for the rigs you want to see. That's true because there are going to be many, many more there. But, for example, Pete's will have about 100 units there, and same thing with Campers Inn. So, there'll be several other dealers that won't have the wide variety. But again, you go there, and Steve was right. It's an icebreaker. If you hit it off with the sales rep, then you go back and see more and get a feel for what the dealership is like as well. So sometimes the closest dealership is not the best if they don't have the exact product that you want.
I like the way Steve Hogan mentions it. It's an icebreaker.
It's an icebreaker.
It really is, especially when you consider that our own studies show that 50% in our seminars, we always ask the question, but 50% of the audience is always attending their very first RV show. So don't make the assumption that everybody you see walking down that floor already has an RV. And in most cases, they don't. And consumer RV shows are one way to get them engaged and involved in it.
Yep. Now,
do that.
And here's another thing that I see happening more and more at shows. There are people that have never been to a show before. They come into a show and they get more confused because of the wide variety of products that are there that they might not have even been aware of before. But at the same time, what I've noticed is, because I like to go right into the units and the displays and just quietly listen to people. And I've seen more and more newbies asking others, hey, what do you know about this? And one thing everybody will agree on is that if an RVer owns a particular product, they want to tell others about it. So they have no issues with telling people, okay, I like this product, but I wish I got it a little bit smaller because I didn't need it that big. Or I wish I had bunks for the kids that weren't available when we bought ours. So keep in mind that some of the best information that you receive at a show may not come from a brochure, may not come from a sales rep, may not come from a manufacturer's rep, but from an owner of the existing rep, of the existing unit that you're looking for.
Yeah, so, good point. Let me get a break point in here. We got a nice note today from Jerry M., who was the winner of the Solo Stove, and it arrived this afternoon. He said it's awesome, and he thanks us very much. So he's all set to go. He's got his Solo Stove when he goes camping or trail hiking or whatever he likes to do this summer. He will have.
Don't use it in the house.
Right, don't use it in the house. One other thing, we've been doing the sneak peeks, so hopefully you've all seen the sneak peeks. I would like to ask each of you to, when you see the sneak peeks, send one out to all your friends. Send one that you might, if you know they're looking for a particular fifth wheel or a particular brand, and we hit them. But keep in mind, the products in the sneak peeks they may be sold before the show. They may be earmarked for the show, but if somebody comes in and says, I want to buy that, it's not going to be in Boston. So new models are continually arriving at the dealership. So if they get a hot new product in 2 days before the show, they're going to pull something out of the list and put it in. But if you have a specific model, I mean, you know exactly what you want to buy, you know the floor plan, check with your dealer, not NERVDA, if you have questions on something we feature in the sneak peek. We sell space. We do not tell them what to bring. We don't care what they bring. We want them to bring what is going to be successful for them, and keep that in mind. And then print out the RVs that you want to see at the show from the sneak peeks so that you have it. Many of them will, in fact, have a thing on it. The first one that we did was obviously Jim Convoy in RV Roof. Jim is very dedicated not only to the Boston show. Jim supports every campground association here. He goes to every RV show in New England. And again, these are not cheap shows, but he believes in taking his product out there and talking to the customers. And you'll see Jim and his gang. Now, they've got to do the split service because the Hartford show is the same weekend. So some people in Connecticut are going to go to the Hartford show. So Jim and Kurt have to kind of split their display in half and have some of it in Boston, have some of it in Hartford. Cold Springs was the first one that responded to me. And the way I get these, I ask the dealers, give me 3 products you want me to feature in your sneak peeks. And I'm still waiting for a lot of the dealers to respond. And if they don't respond, then I pick out what I think might be a good one for them. But destination campers are a big item over at Cold Springs RV. And look at them in booth 204. They're going to be a different layout. And of course, our friends at Seacoast, they will have elevation park models. They will have crop park models. They will have Winnebago. They have a Winnebago Vita motorhome, nice, small on the Mercedes-Benz chassis. And they will have the new, not M series, what's it called? Yeah, the M series. The Access and the M series trailers on board. They'll be in booth 219. And of course, you want to look at the hike. Oops, what I do that. Okay. Tim's RV is coming into the show for the first time, and he's been getting off this little sneak peek. He had almost 30 different comments on it. Tim's out in Irving, Mass on the
Route 2.
And he's going to, for the first time ever, they're going to see all of our travel trailers and the Intech travel trailers. And Tim will be there, and we want him to be loved because I want to see Tim come back next year. Seminars, Ryan Hadley, TRI's Trick Systems. I haven't posted Randy Murray yet, but Randy is also doing seminars. And
he's here tonight.
Yeah,
Randy's here.
I think I saw Randy check in there, and then we have a technician roundup, and I believe that's Saturday at 4:00. Saturday's going to be a big day, but we're going to have Ryan and Randy answering questions from the audience, and we may have Mike Sokol from RV Electricity join them. It depends on Mike's schedule. That just shows you where. So you get Seacoast RV on the top left corner. You got where you enter the show, because everything is flipped over this year because we're in the other hall. So you entrance and go all the way down the left. You'll see Seacoast. The yellow box is where the giveaway is. The seminar stage is right there in Cold Springs. That's at the front, and then you got the big thing. So this little cutie is going to get a lot of attention. 1-year anniversary for the Barefoot. You'll see that at Pete's RV, and we've had people say, "Oh, there's no teardrops in the show." There are teardrops in the show. We just can't get everything. If you're looking for a Class B motorhome, Airstream luxury motorhomes are the exclusive property of Mercedes-Benz of Scarborough, Maine, and they will have them. Campers Inn, big Tiffin dealer, exclusive Tiffin dealer, and they've got 2 small units now. The Midas, which is built on the Ford Transit chassis, the Wayfarer on the Mercedes chassis. And then the last one we posted today was we're getting back into a rotation with Pete's, but Pete's has the Cougar lineup in the show, so be sure to check them out. So see if we created any questions there. We got a ton of questions. Let's see.
Here, a lot of comments here. A lot of comments. Go back to
what time?
Oh, well, Sandy Bach mentioned something about units.
Sandy's got a big one, but it's too big to put up there. But Sandy is an advocate for better dealers, more dealers, customer care, and we can all be better. Every business that's out there, and she's outspoken on it, and rightfully so in a lot of cases. Sandy's been a long time RVer, and what do we got there, Dante? Will you be able to record his speech on your cell phone? You can. I don't think David would have any problem with that. We'll clear it with him, but I don't see any problem why you couldn't tape some of it on a cell phone. I don't want you coming in with $100,000 video camera from Channel 5 and taping it like that for your own personal use. Yeah, I'm sure, no problem. Okay, David. Yeah, that's my other note. Deal is David. Okay, Michael DePietro. I am late, but I am on the show, and we will catch up to you in Daytona, Michael. Absolutely. Audrey, best to visit dealerships for the rig you want to see. Yep, we can do that. It's an icebreaker. We did that. John, quiet. You guys got to, we talk so fast and talk so much, we get lost behind the comments. Ryan can't wait. Absolutely. Audrey, hugest thing to consider when buying a rig, the floor plan that works for you and your family. There you go. That, are you going to be at the show, Audrey? I don't know. I'll do that. We can do that. Hey, get out of there. What are you doing? There you go. Oh, there we are.
Wait. Go back to John is very correct. Put Dante. I paid Dante to write that.
Which Dante said something. What time?
7:36.
That one?
Nope. No, Dante. 7. Okay. Keep that up for the rest of the show.
John is very correct.
Just keep that up for the rest of the show.
John is very correct on what? Dante?
I know. Well, we were talking about going to visit units.
Wait, we got Talk Camping, New Hampshire.
Who is that? We know
that's Chuck Lundberg.
Oh, Chuck. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Even if you do not see the actual unit you want, you might find some of the options or extras that you were thinking about. Often seeing some units that you don't want helps you narrow it down to the perfect RV you always dreamed of. Perfect. Yep. Chuck?
Yep.
You have that.
We have the best audience.
Let's see. Audrey, we want to go to Bob's FD retirement party.
Fire department.
Oh, Bob's. Oh, her husband. I see now. I just assumed she was talking about me.
Yeah.
I thought she meant JD instead of FD. But there's no retirement for JD. So it's her husband who is a firefighter, and he's retiring. And watch out, folks. They're going to be on the road a lot more once Bob is behind the wheel.
Tell them to come Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, come in Thursday afternoon.
With the other color shirt on.
Bucky's gas stations and Chef
Boy. Bucky's. Yeah. Bucky's gas.
Ryan, if you're going to play in the big leagues, Ryan, you got to learn how to spell this stuff. You just can't throw these names out there.
Yeah. Jim, I'll wear the other shirt next week. But just to show you I have it. It's here somewhere.
All right, so it's Buck. Actually, that should be a dash, not a equal sign in the middle. It's Bucky.
BUC-EEF. Yeah. You got to get to Bucky's, folks. You got to get to Bucky's because they're not going to be able to come to New England. There's not enough room.
That's true. The land would be so damn expensive.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're right, Ryan. Ryan, are we going to recognize you now, or did you shave that beard, or what's the deal? Are we going to recognize you on stage? Or are you going to?
You think he shaved the beard?
Well, I don't know.
Beard. It's a growth.
No. He had a beard. He shaved a beard. He grew a beard during the
You mean
vacation.
like a Randy Murray beard?
Not that long. Hell, that takes years.
No.
We'll see what he says. We'll see
All
what
right.
he says.
Ask a few questions or talk for a little while. I'm getting hoarse.
So the gist of the whole thing with RV shows is this. If you're going to your first one, bring your phone or a camera. And most people today's phones have cameras, okay? And take pictures. And not just take picture of the unit, but every unit will have a model number next to it, usually with a spec sheet with it. So if it's something that you're interested in, reference it. Then you can go back and look at it on the internet, see other colors that might be available. Because the other thing is this: RVs are not just cream and decal anymore. They're all different colors. And don't feel as though you have to make a decision that day. And so many times what happens is, as Bob mentioned earlier, the dealership will have an open house in the 1 week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks after the show, and many dealers will honor the show prices. Now, if you go on Thursday and don't see everything you want, just come up to the front desk and ask for a ticket to come back on Friday.
Friday or Saturday.
Yeah. Friday or Saturday or Sunday,
Friday,
whatever it is.
with the shorter hours.
Yeah, exactly.
We want you to have time at the show and hopefully buy an RV. I said it before. These are buying shows. This is one of the most important weekends in the dealers, whether it's a Boston show or a Connecticut show or a Tampa show. The dealers bring the stuff there to show to people. Jim Keenan says, and Jim, I think you said you are going to be in the Pete's booth, Jim. Jim is retired, but I think he's doing shows for Pete's RV. He was a beloved sales rep there for a long time, but now he gets to enjoy the fruits of his labor in his Jayco motorhome. Every unit will have a QR code to give you much more information. That may be on Pete's, and that's a very creative thing to do. I can't guarantee you that everybody would do that. So to John's point, bring your phone not only to take pictures, but grab some of the QR codes. And the other hint that I give people, you cannot remember everything that you see at these shows. So before you go into a unit, shoot the label just beside the door. It'll tell you the manufacturer. It'll give you the floor plan number. Then shoot 4 or 5 pictures on the inside. Just remember to shoot the door first and the label, and then everything after that is going to be that. So when you get home and you start to go through all these things, you can see it.
Yeah. Now, Jim Keenan, I'm sure that he will back me up on this one. If you are a person that asks a lot of questions because it's your nature, it's not because it's good or bad. We're not judging you with that, but there are some people that need to ask a lot of questions. Don't expect to go there Saturday at 2:00 or Sunday at noontime and have a rep that will be able to spend that much time with you. Go first thing in the morning or the end of the show, or go on Thursday and early on Friday when the crowds will be less. Because again, as Jim Keenan said, it's a selling show. And they certainly want you to be a client, and they know that they have to earn your respect and earn your business by answering your questions, which they can do when their crowds are less. So
I know you've been following the interchange between Randy and Murray there, and Randy had posted that there's no talk of discussion of shaving. Ryan says, I'll have to use some Rogan on it to get it to Randy's status before the show. I got news for you, Ryan. That might be before next year's show. If you think it's before next week's show, you're dreaming. And young Miss Audrey says, RVs are so diverse. When you find something interesting and have questions for owners, join the Facebook. Good one, Audrey. Join the Facebook page for that manufacturer. Owners will be helpful for your question. John, tell them you're on the Winnebago Navion all the time, right?
Absolutely. If I have a question, in fact, 2 weeks ago when we were down, I think it's 2 weeks ago. Anyway, we were down south and I couldn't get hot water. And I wrote at 6 a.m. to the View Navion group, which is about 21,000 people. I said, I just had it dewinterized yesterday, but I can't get hot water. And they immediately said, bypass. The bypass valve wasn't switched on. So, and keeping one thing in mind is that owners of the particular unit that you're looking for, they have no reason to tell you one thing or another. They're going to tell you what's right for you because they were probably helped by someone who helped them along before. And, even if you're buying your second or third RV, the new technology that's available in these units now is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. I'm confused on Jim's comment. Jim says, remember, it's a selling show, and he's there to sell too. But his next comment says, an engineer.
Oh, an engineer is one who asks a million questions.
Oh, okay. We identify those right away. You can always tell. We get into those conversations. The next thing out of DePietro's mouth is, "Are you an engineer?"
Yeah. Well, because
I can tell you're an engineer.
They ask some questions that I would never think of asking, but that's their mindset. And you want to be, if you're going to park at a campground, you want to park next to an engineer or a maintenance guy, because one way or another, they're going to know how to fix anything.
Good. It's a good point. We cannot design a new product for you during this show. And again, it's get around. I always tell people, you get to the show, take a pass around the whole show, go up and down every aisle, get yourself familiarized with the layout. The layout will be in the show program that you pick up, and then start making circles around the people you want to come back to see, because it's a long process. And if you're going to go in there, I might spend the whole day. You can take breaks. You can grab a little snack. You get tired. You sit down for one of the seminars for an hour, recharge your batteries. But you're there. There's a big investment of product and people, and the smartest people in the world are there. You can get your questions answered from somebody somehow.
Hey, you know what? You can even leave the show for a couple of hours, go down to the Seaport District, have something to eat, then come back and see the rest of the show.
Tell them you're leaving so they can stamp your hand.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
When you do that.
Yeah, Ryan, I was going to ask you about that, but I knew that you were with your family, and the last thing I wanted to do was to ask you a question about the dewinterizing thing. I really should learn how to at least dewinterize myself, but in fact, down south
I never did.
Huh?
I never learned how to do it.
Yeah, they call it summarize down there.
What's IT mean, Ryan?
Winterize
Huh?
De-winterize it yourself. How to dewinterize yourself.
Oh, next time I would
dewinterize it yourself. The unit.
Susan must think Jim's getting a little bit too much airtime today, so she says, "Leave the kiddies at home if you're serious shoppers." I don't know, Susan. I'm not sure I'd agree with that.
I would argue with that.
I think kids are a major part of it, and kids get excited, and you want to see how they're going to like a particular bunk bed or something. It depends on the age, but I always took my kids to the show. I know John takes his grandkids to the show.
But on that thing, Bob, along with what you're saying, many times you need to bring the kids there because you need to see if they can fit in those bunks. Because when they say it's bunks, they're not all standard sizes.
Right.
So certain product might have a wider bunk and a more narrow bunk and a shorter bunk, depending on the size of the kid. And, the only thing is, if you bring the kids and they fall in love with it, you're not walking out of that building without buying something.
So Walter says, we always took our kids RV shopping. We did too. We always, for years. They were not always helpful. No, they may, the first spot they're going to go is back to the bed and start jumping on it, but be respectful. We trust your kids. Let's put it this way. We trust your kids. So if any of you dealers have problems with somebody's kids, you talk to their kids. We trust them. So, don't come back after us if we said that. If your kids go camping, they should be there as well. Good point. And Audrey says, the show is always a family event. Great way to check out the storage you need and the bunks you need. Susan says, C. Okay, so and you guys are making it difficult for us.
Poor Susan made a comment and she's getting beat up.
Yeah.
But
Don says, Bob, did you have any issues with the latest storm? No, I'm in Florida. We had a lot of rain, a lot of wind. I woke up at 2:00 in the morning last night. We don't get snow in Florida, so John can speak to snow.
we got 18 inches here, and it's pretty much all gone. We had 18 inches, and this morning I woke up, it said it's 19 degrees, and we have a flood warning this afternoon due to melting snow. So it went from 19 to 49 in about 3 hours, melted a lot of snow, and now it's an issue again because we've got ice right now.
All right, so we got a latecomer, Lost in the Country RV. Hi, hello, and I assume you either joined late or you watched the whole show. So if you watch the whole show, then tell us if you like it or not. And now that you're into it and you know who we are, please be advised that if you come to the program late, you are to apologize to the other guest if you are late, because we have some people who are frequently late. And I wonder if Kessel's on tonight. He hasn't commented anything. We'll be seeing Kessler down there.
Well, we only have a minute left, but we've got a family argument going on between Jim and Susan Keenan. Susan said we had a tornado warning, and Jim says, no, we dodged a tornado. Now, I don't know if they're both in the same unit or whether one's in the clubhouse or whether one is in Maine and one is in Florida.
They're saying the same thing.
No.
He says we had a warning.
And he says, no, we dodged the tornado.
So obviously they didn't have a tornado, or he would have said, that's not true, Susan. We lost the other half of the house that you're not in the tornado. It just didn't hit your side of the house. Okay. Lost in the Country. Joined late. All right, Audrey. Crazy New England weather. Glad to be rain washed out. All right, we got to wrap up in a minute here. Sorry. All right. Jim Turtine. All right, Jim. 13 inches above average year-to-date in Kingsland, Georgia. Sorry for coming in late. Attaboy, Jim. So that means that it has slowed down, I assume, the construction of the first RV self-park outside of Missouri. Let us know how that's going. Hawkey says, great show, guys. See you in Tampa. Absolutely, Kevin. And Jim says Bob is correct.
Yeah, forget
Jim. Bob is always correct.
Yeah, but Dante said John is right.
So one thing that we did not do, but I'm going to correct it right now. So don't hang up just yet. Boom. Where are we? Okay. We did not give away any tickets. So we've had a lively conversation tonight. So today is January 10th. The show opens on January 25th.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So there are 15 days between those two dates. So I'm going to go through the comments, starting at the beginning. Every 15th comment is going to win 2 tickets, and I will get them out this week to you, but I will let you know who it is. I have to do it tomorrow because I got a bunch of things to do after the show tonight. But every 15th comment from beginning to end, and we had good activity, I'm going to give you 2 comp tickets to the show.
Yeah.
So is there anything you'd like to close with, Mr. DePietro?
No, we just want to thank our audience. You know, folks, as we enter this new year, we do not take your presence on Wednesday night for granted. We have to earn your respect and earn your viewership. We hope we're doing a good job, and thank you so much for being with us. And special thanks to our friends at Seacoast RV for being our sponsors for the show. Seacoast RV, Route 1 in Saco, Maine, and also the people that are providing that Winnebago product that will be given away at the Boston RV Camping Expo, coming to the New England. What's the name of that building? Boston. What's the name of that building? Convention. It's doing so well too. Yeah. January 25th through 20th. Get your tickets now. Don't be disappointed.
And if you would do us a favor, take the link to this show. If each one of you would take the link to this show and email it to 2 or 3 of your friends and say, hey, you guys got to come to this show. If for no other reason, you got to come to the show to meet John and Bob, and we'll be around the seminar stage and everybody will know who we are. But we would love to meet you. Love to see you at the show. And thank you for being fans. And I can tell you, we enjoy being here as much as you enjoy being here.
Have a great night, everyone.
All right. Oops. Where am I?
And
Oh, there it goes.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.